different tonight. I'm going to do a little bit of a mini class for anybody who's never used a tablet before. With a computer program. The tablet is separate from the computer program. This one is called Krita. You can download it for free off the web. I'm pretty sure it's still there. But then you have a drawing tablet like a Huon. You plug it into your computer, and the thing about it is you got to get used to drawing, looking at a screen instead of looking down at the paper and seeing all the lines. That's the catch to it. You have to learn to draw and follow the little icon. That's easy for someone who started like that, but if you've never done that, it's a learning curve. But today is about taking a piece of art that you have and getting it in the computer and putting it in the Krita. It's real easy. You get your image and you take a picture with your phone, and then you plug your phone into your computer, you download it. I've already done all that. So let's go over to the computer, and then I'm gonna go into and I've had this for a while, the drawing tablet itself, and it's getting a little gimpy, but it's been about almost 10 years that I've had it. So you're gonna find your image, and do I need to turn this? Nope. So we're just gonna open it as such. Oh, no, I don't want to save it. Not this image. So what you would do is, depending on the size that your camera takes, it might not be standard. So what I like to do is I like to go to new and then select which of the two layouts that you want, horizontal or vertical, for the paper. For this one, I'm going to use the going across, more vertical, and hit create. All right. So once you hit create, it'll give you a new page just like this. Then you go to layer. For the first layer, you go to import. Then you come down to import and you use paint image. This is where I grab my image, because if this image isn't the correct size of a standard paper, when I open it as a layer on top of here, it's going to be the same size. So see, the picture I took is not the standard size. No big deal. All we got to do is hit the key to turn it, and then we can expand it as much or as little as needed. Now I got all this shit in here from where I took the picture, but once I get the shape basic inside, come out of that, pick whatever you want. It takes a minute for that to go through, and then all you're gonna do is get any color and then just mop away all the background stuff. And now I can extend the wings on this guy too. We're gonna, I'm finishing up a character design for somebody's world. We'll just use it as an example tonight. But this is one of the easiest methods that I learned over the years for designing. So now all I have left is the image. And now from here, I could do a multitude of things. So first, let's just get in on the image itself. God, this fucking thing. So this is all we're gonna work with. And then as we get closer, we're gonna clean it up a little bit more. So it's just the character. So now we've created pretty much what's the background. We've gotten rid of all the outside noise. And now from here, you can do one or two things. You can draw right on top of it if you feel like you're that good. It's not too hard. Or you want to come over here and create another layer using this one right here. That pops up, you're automatically on it, and now I can draw on top of this without having to sacrifice what's underneath. So now I can make color to whatever I want to here, and if I want to, I can take it out and start over and do a whole bunch of different designs with it. This is where you really get to play with it. Wrong color, that's quite all right. Let's get a bit of that, because that's what we're gonna use. And then you just really get to give yourself some freedom to mess around on top of the original and start it however you want. And if I don't like that, I'll just come up here and take this eye off, and it'll take that whole layer off. So it's good to have at least 2-3 layers if you have a image that you've uploaded into the program. And this icon here, just like that, is letting you know that that layer is not showing you. You can't do any work until you click back on it. Now I can do work. So I'm going to keep that layer, and I'm going to go a little lighter. Let's start a little lighter because I want to get some detail on this guy. And that's pretty much the easy way of editing characters and pictures in general with Krita. You can put it right on your desktop or a drawing tablet, I'm pretty sure, and it works like Photoshop. It's very similar to Photoshop, but it's free. It's a download. But like I said, you need a drawing tablet to work with it, unless you have one built into your computer. But it saves you a lot of time. Instead of just starting this picture over again and again on a piece of paper, I can get as many designs. I can expand on parts of the design that I didn't like the first time. And it takes like the stress out of it all, basically. Use some of that line. We're gonna do these more line. So if I want to do just the wings separate, I'm gonna create another layer, and then I'm gonna go separate. So I can do all this and then click it out of there. You know what I mean? But it also allows me to concentrate on different areas of the character or whatever it is. So I might create a whole nother layer specifically for the background if I was going to put a background or put it for text. So that's just a little bit of using Krita with a drawing tablet. It'll cost you less than, well, I don't know what the prices are. When I did it, it was less than $100 for the whole setup, which is not bad because I've had it for years and I've done tons. It paid for itself basically the first month that I had it. So I'm able to still have that raw, what else do I got? Still have that raw edge with my pen, but then be able to make, no, we don't want to go there. We'll go with this one. So I just pulled this one out of the archives. And this was a hand-drawn picture I did like in 2014 or something. But now that I have it in the computer, I've changed her face completely. I've added colors. And I can edit it any way I want to. And not have to worry about starting over. The beautiful thing about it also is that the computer auto saves. So after so many pen strokes, I guess, the computer already backs up, the program itself backs up your progress. So if something like the lights went out or somebody tripped over your cord and you didn't save it, the computer will have a backup of what you were working on so you don't lose it, which is a really cool feature as well. Because this happened quite a few times. But now you get to do all that fly stuff that you either didn't get a chance to do when you were drawing it, or maybe like this one, you've had it for a couple of years and you're adding your growth process to it. You know what I'm saying? All the different things that you've learned now, you can apply it, especially when you get used to using all these different tools. Let's see. And get these effects. Like that's a good one for different strokes right there. That's good for her hair. Things of that nature. But this was also on 2 pieces of paper, so I was able to fit the scene seamlessly so it looks like one image now. And now I really get to bring this to life. And I think I really wanted to get into these guys. Put some line work in on them. So this is one of the ways where technology really is a plus, especially if you're more of a traditional or a hands-on kind of artist. It's good for editing your pictures where you can make prints, you know, stuff like that of your work if that's one of the things you wanted to do. But it'll save you a lot of time once you get used to drawing without looking at what you're drawing, so to speak. Right now, all I'm looking at is the screen while I'm down here, if that makes sense. And now all those tight little spaces, because I want these guys to be really some nut job looking kind of villains. Then I can take the tones down. You just get to do a little bit of extra stuff that you didn't get to while you had it on paper. So now my whole archive, I can bring it to the computer and amend things. It's a bit of time traveling. Whatever that means. And now we got shit that's going on. You know what I mean? Because I remember the ink I was using wasn't really dark. It was about this kind of grayish right there, but now that I have this, I can get that true dark in there now. You probably can't see as well as I can with the computer. Oops. I'm messing around with shit. Yeah. Now I get to play around with all this. I get to straighten out the line if I wanted to, make it a little sharper. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I just felt compelled to share that tonight. It's a real nice tool to have in your arsenal. And now I can make a weapon shot with just a little bit of spray paint. Then I can put the little lines coming on there. Or you can pull out the little sponge and get like a little bit of motion on top of it. It's good for blood too. Or like dust and debris, like all this shit in the background. All this dust up in these trees and stuff like that. Now you can add a little bit more, debris. So like that. Instead of taking that pencil and trying to get every one of them, you know what I'm saying? And then make it bigger so it's just a bigger blotch. And then you can move into smaller spots. Like that. So it works out really nice. And I've been on a kick lately with my old pictures and stuff like that. So, they don't look the same. That's when I started them. They don't look the same. And even if like your colors are limited when you were doing it, now I have a way to click on any color and the computer will find a match, and not only find a match but find all these corresponding colors down here for you that line up with that color. So if I want to make it dark and keep it within the realms of this palette, it's going to offer me the gray tones that go with this. So everything blends together. Some of the darker tones for it. And this way you don't have to go searching for too much. So we're gonna straighten her hair out now, that I have a better idea of what I want to do with it. I want to get rid of a lot of it. So we'll keep maybe a little bit of that. Then we'll just blot the rest of it out. What the heck? No, let's get that out of there. My bad, I'm hitting buttons and shit. And that is the simplest way to use the program. And if you can get out of your way, you can really create some dope stuff with it. And now it looks a lot more like I saw it in my head. You know what I'm saying? Even though the original is a monster and a classic. Especially during that time, you know what I'm saying? But this is how I see the goddess segment. So now I really get to enjoy pencils that have different sizes. I can just keep adjusting the size of the pencil or the opacity of it, you know, how richly it shows up. And we'll get the darker version of this red. So once you get used to it, it really is fun. What you mean by that? Well, the premise of the whole thing was really about uploading pre-existing artwork into this program and just showing some of the things you can do with it afterwards. So now that looks a lot better. And then what we'll do is create another layer over here. And this way we can get to that background without disturbing this. Let's back it up. Let's see if we can steal some of these colors from other parts of the picture. And we'll take a little bit of that. And we'll use some spray paint for this. Now I can paint over the original layer like that, or I can switch the places and put it behind that so it doesn't show up at all. But that's a whole nother other. You gotta learn to kill the background of the original. Let's go back a little bit. And then we'll just do undo to get that out of there. And now we have this consistent color throughout. And it makes it easier to fill in the spaces. So this is really dull. The color is right here from the original. But all we gotta do is heat it up a little bit. And then the last thing, of course, is your darker colors for your shading to put it all together. Shoot, I almost forgot. Let me go back. And let's go back in. This way. So the way I had this was like a basic light versus kind of dark. So we're gonna deal with that and just kind of, oops, wrong one. Give me that. Give me this and that. So we just darken it up and fade it into that black and kind of push it out in shadows. To where over want to take some of that nice bright color right here in the middle. So this is where the line is drawn. So all that stuff we used right here, now we can darken that in. We don't need it anymore. And really get to the mood of the picture itself. And then just take care of the details at the end. Make that a little bit bigger. Put some right there. Oops. And then I can do some really cool, very small, subtle highlights. In the front to balance off that darkness. And here's where you can add shit. Yeah. And then we take something like this and smooth it all together. Especially for the background. No big deal. And that's pretty much what goes on with some of the older things. And also, I get to move shit. Let me see something real quick. Alright, that's cool. Because I want to make it look like she's climbing out of this shit. But I want to change the perspective. So I'm going to outline this part right here. And we're going to move that bitch. We're going to move her leg down a little bit. We can turn it. We can make it really lick, right? But moving it just a little bit closer. And all we have to do is just deal with the space that we left open. And I'm doing this because I'm turning her body each time. Now I can make it look like her foot is coming out of this end if I wanted to. Or I can put that in front of there. Let me do that first. Heck, we might as well just go in right there as well. You get one more octave lower. And now I don't have to worry about that. Bring a little shadow up in there. And viola. So that's pretty much it. And now depending on how detailed I want to get, because it's a big picture, it doesn't show up as much. Let's see what that's about it. Let me, cause that's gonna take a minute. Just wanted to line myself up. What else I got on here? Oh yeah, the ride along. You know, like, uh, let's do some beads. taking this sleeve out of here. Let me squeeze some more people in here. just save your shit as you go. Oof. Might finally open that shit up. What's in there? Well, shit, that's an hour, but we'll play with some more of these. Just a little bit. Put a little more character to them. Well, that'll do it for me, folks. I just want to make sure I get my hour in. You know what I'm saying? A little time for yourself. Take a break. But that's some of the basics on the digital side of things and what you could do with it. And yeah, anything that has to do with art. If I know the answer, I'll give you. If I know the answer to your question, don't hesitate to put it up there. All right, that'll do it for us. Y'all have a great night.